As we all just saw, Tyreek Hill injured, carted off the field, not looking good for him in this Monday night game against the Jets. So let's break down some early key signs in this injury and why it's not going to look good for the future. So what you're going to see here is he's running a pretty simple routine play, just going to go out towards the sideline, only trying to pick up those 8 yards. When he just takes a wrong step, plants weird, ankle caves, knee goes, and he's down. And they actually gave us a really good replay of this injury because it's all going to start with this frame right here, the overreaching or overstepping of this stride that almost causes what looks like initially a knee hyperextension. But with his cleat planted in the ground, his body's weight is just going to carry his momentum forward as he's kind of rolling out of it, to brace for the fall. And with the cleat planted in the ground, his leg's going to be stuck there, causing his knee to take the brunt of the force and the damage. So in these frames right here, you can kind of see how the overstepping leads to his ankle almost inverting, getting stuck in the turf while his hips are rotating, creating that varus load on his knee. And I think this is as clear of a shot as you need to determine that this is a knee dislocation. And you can see just his shin bone or tibia is rotated inward, so facing away from us, while his femur is almost in a neutral position. Alright, so what's really going on here? So here we have our knee, and if we just hide the kneecap or your patella, what you can see is we'll have our MCL here on the inside of our knee, our LCL on the outside of our knee, ACL right in the middle, and then in the back we have our PCL right here. Alright, so in order to have a knee dislocation, typically what you'll see is we need 3 out of these 4 ligaments to be torn. So which 3 are they going to be, right? So typically it's always our ACL, our PCL, so those 2 are gone, and then either our MCL or our LCL. Alright, so just by knowing that, we can already eliminate our ACL and PCL here, and that leaves us with our MCL or LCL. Now, in the video, as I explained before, we're having a valgus force, which just means there's a force coming from the inside of the knee going towards the outside. And what this is going to do is put stress on that LCL to the point where it's going to tear. All right, now that we've established that the ligaments are damaged, what else are we going to worry about with a knee dislocation like this? So remember, we have that varus force coming in and that internal rotation that I mentioned earlier of the tibia. So what's going to happen is the medial or inside of this joint is going to get compressed while the tibia is rotating. And this is going to resemble the kind of pivot shift mechanism that we sometimes see with the non-contact ACL injuries. A little bit different here, but basically what we're going to be concerned with this kind of mechanism is, a chipping of the bone coming off of either that medial femoral condyle or the medial tibial plateau, which are just kind of the end spaces of those bones where they come together. And just a couple more structures we might be worried about in some sort of gross knee dislocation like this is going to be 1, the popliteal artery, which is just the major artery that sits right behind your femur and your tibia, right behind your joint, and your tibial nerve, which also runs almost parallel to it. So these are some more structures that they're going to want to check right away, make sure there's no major bleeding, and, make sure he has sensation in his toes and feet, things like that. So definitely very frustrating to see and to have happen to him. Obviously, this is going to be a season-ending injury, similar to what we saw with Tank Dell last year. But let me know what you think about this injury, if you thought I missed anything, or if you have a different opinion. I'd love to hear it. But best of luck to him, and I hope his recovery goes well.